Okay, hello, my name's Evan Sinisak. I'm recording a demo video for the Info 6046 Media Fundamentals Project 2. Part of the requirements is to show how it can be downloaded right off FOL and run. So here I am on FOL. I'm going to download this zip, which won't be the final version because I need to include the video. I'm going to put it in my Fanshawe stuff. Media Fundamentals. Project 2. This is the same project folder, just rename the zip. I have 7-zip installed, so I'll just extract it. Once that's done, open it up. First things first, open the README. So I am running this program on Visual Studio Community 2019. It should work in debug and release mode 64-bit, not in 32-bit, because I don't have the 32-bit for some of the graphics stuff, so I'm just only going to work in 64-bit. If that's the wrong thing, I don't actually need that open. To change audio files from the solution level, go to Common, Assets, Audio. Then once this opens, you can add or remove files here, change the, or not change the, but you can, if you add or change anything in this folder, change the audio list file and copy the name of the audio file exactly. Otherwise, open up the solution. Now Steam wants to run an update, because of course you do. So I decided to just extend the soundboard application that I made during the first, or for the first project. So we've got our includes, got all our global things. I decided to use vectors to keep track of pointers to the sounds and channels. And then I made specific pointers for all the channel groups that we're going to have, as well as some to keep track of what's going on. I copied the way that we did the pan in class, so I need this pan array with the number of channel groups that we have, and this index keeps track of which one is active. And then I made pointers for all the different fmod DSP things, and because of our requirements of having at least 4 per channel group, I organized them like this to have each 4 with which channel group it'll be used for commented above it. And then I need a temporary pointer for some stuff in main and a vector of names for the songs in the sound file. In key callback, have a bunch of variables to keep track of the values to when we pull things out for changing stuff. So like on the first project, pressing 1 through 0 as well as space will play different sounds, but you have to be in the correct channel group to play specific sounds, and an error check to make sure that we're not trying to access a sound that doesn't exist. So that's just what all of these are. They all follow the exact same logic, just different sound gets played. Pause or unpause when you press tab. Apparently I didn't change that. And then For the volume and pan, I copied the same logic, but I removed the press so that you can just hold the button down. Pressing keypad up increases volume, pressing keypad down decreases. Pressing keypad left moves the pan to the left, pressing keypad right moves the pan to the right. And then this is where it gets a little bit messy. In order to change what channel group we are on, since this is all that the application is doing, I just decided to give each thing a key. For future stuff, I can use the I think it's either scan code or mod. We started doing some stuff with it in I think it was Game Engine. But I can, so like holding shift and pressing a key. But for this, I decided to just keep everything on one key. There's enough keys on a standard keyboard. It should be fine. So if you press Z, we will switch to the music channel group. If we press X, we'll switch to sound effect 1. If we press C, we'll switch to sound effect 2. If we press V, we'll switch to sound effect 3. And if we press M, we'll switch to the master channel group. And then as per the requirements, we needed to be able to change the actual values of at least a DSP on a channel group. And we also needed, I didn't fully understand this. I guess I should have asked today during class, but not that. Enable or bypass all DSPS. I found that there is a get and set active as well as a get and set bypass. So Q, W, E, and R gets the DSP by index on the selected channel group and then switches whether it's active or not. And then T just runs a loop that goes through all the DSPs and switches their active state. We'll see when I run it that for some reason changing the active of a DSP actually stops the sound on the channel for some reason. I don't fully understand why, but I guess that's just how it's set up. So then A, S, D, and F does the same thing, but for bypass, where we get the DSP by index on the channel group, and then switch whether the bypass is active or not. And then G runs a loop and switches all of them. So then another requirement we had was to actually change different DSPs, at least one per channel group. So for the music channel group, I have the DSP echo on it. So if you press U, if you press U, it will decrease the echo delay. And if you press I, it'll increase the echo delay using this logic. And in the main loop, we'll print out the value so that we can see it actually changing. On sound effect 1, I have the high pass. So like in our project details, where we can change to the high pass cutoff, I decided to do the same thing. If you press O, it decreases the cutoff, and if you press P, it increases the cutoff up to the maximum and minimum amount excuse me, that I got from the Fmod can't remember what it's called. Library descriptions, directories, descriptions. On sound effect 2, we have the tremolo. And on the tremolo, you can affect the frequency. So if you press H, it'll decrease the tremolo frequency. If you press J, it'll increase it. And on sound effect 3, I have a DSP oscillator, which we can change the rate of. So if you press K, it'll decrease the rate of the oscillation, and if you press L, it increases the rate of oscillation. And on the master, I wasn't sure if we had to also do this for the master channel group, so I just went ahead and did it anyways. Why not show even more effects? So on the master channel group, we have the chorus DSP. So if you press comma, it'll decrease the chorus rate. And if you press period, it'll increase the chorus rate. And then just other function signatures. Most of, I think, init GLFW and init GL don't change from previous project and examples. I think, yeah, init fmod and shutdown, and a slight change to load sounds, which I'll go over first. So yeah, init is unchanged, GLFW and GL is unchanged. Fmod, we create the system and initialize it. We load our sounds, make sure everything works properly. And then we create all our channel groups from music, sound effect 1, sound effects 2, sound effects 3. We grab the master channel. And then I found that if I didn't start the program by just playing a sound, it doesn't populate the channels and channel groups. So I don't remember why I did this instead of just running CGSE1 or 2 or 3 or master, but whatever. I'm not going to change it now. Excuse me. But yeah, just play one of the sounds on each channel, as well as the music channel group. Fill all the pan values. I should probably set that 5 to a define so that we can change it more easily at the top. Anyways, and then we have to create all the DSP effects. So create the echo, put it in echo, create, and then add the echo to the channel group. And then for now, set the active and bypass to true. And then do the same thing for every other DSP type. Probably should have made a method that does this. I didn't think of that until I already had it done. And even then, you still have to call the method a bunch of times. But yeah, just every single one, create, add it to whatever, add it to the index on the channel group, increasing so that nothing gets overwritten. 0, 1, 2, and 3, because there's 4 on each. And as you can see, we're already getting into lines 1700s, and this is mostly just because of the error checking adds extra lines. But if you don't have it, if something goes wrong, you don't know where it broke. So we're at the oscillator. I'm just closing the if statement so that it doesn't take as long to scroll back up. And showing that yes, every single DSP is getting mated. Definitely should have made a function that just does these steps and checks and returns true or false. And then in shutdown, we release all the sounds from the vector. And then I found that when you're using the channel groups, you actually have to remove the DSP from the channel group before you can release it. So remove the echo from music, release, and then rinse and repeat for every single DSP. Again, definitely should just make a function or class that handles this. Remove and release everything. Because I know from another part that you can just pull out any inactive DSP off a channel group. We'll see that in the main, but if you do that, then you should be able to just release it from there. Pull it out, remove it, release it. Be much more efficient. Anyways, after doing all that, we have to release the channels themselves, the channel groups themselves, and then we close the system and release it. Delete the text just in case. Slight modification to the load sounds simply because of I was going to say because of how the channels are handled now, but think I think I was going to use an array and then switch back to yeah, I was going to use an array and then I switched back to a vector. So it's actually not really changed at all. So if I run back up to main and expand this again, if we don't initialize properly, close it. Welcome to the soundboard. Declare a bunch of temporary variables that will need to display information from the DSPs. Main loop, set our background color. Set up the last known row index to start at the top. So depending on which channel group we're in, allows different songs to be played. So check which group we're in and then display different information. So that's all that these are, just displaying different information depending on what channel group is active. And then we pull the name to display what channel group we're in. Get if the channel group is paused. Display the volume. Display the pan of the current channel group. And then this pulls out the most recently played song on the channel group off of the index 0 channel, off of the channel group. We get the channel. From the channel, we get the current sound, and from the current sound, we get the name. Display it. And then here, I get the number of DSPs that are on the selected channel group. Initially, I wanted to run this through a for loop, but then I realized that I was going to have different information displayed because you can get the type of DSP, but that gives you a number, as we'll see in a second. So for each thing, we get whether Oh, did I change it after? Oh no, these are outside the if. So we get the type, active, and bypass for each. For the... okay, I'm skipping. So from the selected channel group, we get the DSP. From that index that I said before, which starts at 0, put it into DSP temp. From there, we get the type, whether it's active, and get the bypass. Then, because echo is the one that we can change, we pull that information out for the delay and display it. High pass is also one that we can change, display it. Can't change distortion or fader. But on master, I have the chorus rate, so I'll also display that. For each channel group. Add to the index, do it again. Except there's going to be different information again because the bypass or the DSP type is a number value. So that's literally all this is, just filling out text in the application and then adding it, and do it again and again and again for each thing. Reset the index at the end. Clean up the screen so that there isn't extra information being displayed. Render. And then we rinse and repeat. So like I said, debug or release x64. There were build errors. Could not write lines. What? Could not write lines to file x64 debug project 2 log. Last build state exceeds max OS max path limit. Huh. Interesting. I guess I put it too deep into the computer. Because here's the original project that I zipped before. Some warnings. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know there was a limit to that. Good to know. So like I said, sorry about the ear. But I have to start by playing stuff. Probably should have had an audio warning. My apologies for that. Now I feel like I should re-record, but I'm not. Shoot. Anyways. Start on the music group so we can press 1, 2, or 3. I'll increase it on Streamlabs a little bit again. minus 20 should be? Minus 21. Anyways, so as I said, depending on which channel group we're on, displays which tracks can be played, display the channel group, display if it's paused, pressing tab pauses it, which oddly enough also changes the active for the echo. Selected channel group volume, can't be increased past 1, can be decreased by pressing and holding. You can change the pan, left ear, right ear, and I can actually see it on Streamlabs. It is playing more on the right than the left, and now it's playing only on the left or only on the right. Most recent song played, Battle Time Lapse Remix, which is this Final Fantasy 1 thing. If I press 2, changes the counterattack. If I press 3, you are all bad guys. If I press any of the other keys, 7890 space, nothing happens because we're not in the correct channel group. So if I press Q, echo is no longer active. If I press W, mixer is no longer active. E, R, and T switches all of them. So if I disable echo and then hit T, everything else switches. And then for bypass, let's turn the echo off, or the bypass on. And then if I press U, it decreases the echo delay. I, it increases the delay up to a maximum of 2,000, I think. Might be 22,000. But as you can hear, it's starting to get a little bit funky. Hit A again, goes back to normal. Press S, and the mixer's on, where the bypass is disabled. FFT, which I don't remember what it actually does, and transceiver. And then if we press X, everything changes. I can press 1, 2, 3, but the song isn't changing. But if I press 4, 5 or 6 plays these sounds, but nothing else. So if I switch back to music, and then back to here, much quieter. Anyways, on sound group 1, we have the high pass, switch between active and not, low pass, compressor, multiband. If I disable the bypass for a high pass, then I can use O to decrease the bypass, the cutoff, and if I press P, we can increase it. And if I disable it, it's back to normal. Enable the low pass, changes again, compressor, multiband. And of course you can have all of them at the same time. And you can press G to switch all of them, which I forgot to show here as well. You can press G to switch all of them at the same time. I forgot I raised the volume up there. Which is no longer being affected. That's interesting. Good to know. Anyway, C, sound group 2. Some snow steps from Majora's Mask and Mudkip. Again, can switch the active and not active for distortion, normalized, tremolo, and delay. If we turn some distortion on and play the Mudkip, sounds much different. Switch the normalize. Sounds about the same. Change the tremolo, which is H and J. There's some change to it. And delay. And if we switch to master, the music sound group is paused. So if I switch, I'm going to decrease the sound on Streamlabs just in case it's loud again. Okay. Anyways, on master, again, we have chorus, SFX reverb, limiter, and loudness meter. So I accidentally... Oh, wait, no, I skipped one. I skipped V, sound group 3.
Why won't you die?
Most recent wrongs. Again, so change the active, not active, all at once. Change the bypass, enabled, disabled, all at once. Ooh, which one is making that fun sound in my ears? Yeah, so let's disable the bypass.
Why won't you die?
Can't really hear anything on the fader. Flange sounds pretty fun.
Why won't you die?
It is the oscillator. And
Why won't you die?
trying to remember what the default value for that is. Let's not do that. Let's stop using that one. That's annoying. That is. Yeah, we're not going to use that one anymore. And DSP pan,
Why won't you
which I think
die?
should just sound
Why won't
exactly
you
the same.
die?
Oh, it wasn't on.
Why won't you?
Yeah, it's just going to be the same thing because we're not actually changing the pan, so it's exactly in the center. Anyways, back on a master. Pause the master. Absolutely nothing will play. Volume and pan. So if I change the pan, this should be in the left ear more. Despite the fact that the pan here hasn't changed. Most recent song. We can play anything. If we try to play something on the first channel group, it won't play because that channel group is currently paused. So if I switch back to it and unpause it, we should start hearing "You Are All Bad Guys" from A Hat in Time. So again, Again, active or not active, all the DSPs. If we enable the chorus, we can increase and decrease the rate. I think it has a maximum of 10. But I think it's more noticeable near 0. No, 0 is no chorus. Anyways, if we activate the reverb, sounds like we're kind of in a cave now. Limiter, I can't hear much difference. Loudness meter, I don't, again, can't really notice much of a difference. Activate all of them. And I think that's pretty much it. I guess I forgot to actually test the oscillator, because that was fun to find out that that's how that worked. Probably not gonna ever use it in a game. So, yep. I'm going to add the video to the project folder and zip it all up and clear all the folders. Thank you for your time. Sorry about some of those bad loud noises.